Hey, what's up, YouTube? Welcome to my spoiler discussion of Guardians of the Galaxy. I have a very special guest with me tonight, Mr. Jonathan Grifferson.
Hey guys.
He
What's
is
up?
a male. He's of a mixed race, so you know I'm all about diversity on this channel. And he's got some pretty slick hair, so we're hitting all those. He's got the trifecta.
The Trinity, as it were.
Mm-hmm. So obviously that qualifies him to talk about movies.
Yeah, definitely.
So, all right. So we saw Guardians of the Galaxy last night. It's been about 24 hours now, and so we've had some time to really digest it and get the gastric juices working on it.
Yeah, it's fully digested. It's coming out. It's about to come out.
It's ready. It's all ready to come out now. So
it's
this is our
secreted.
spoiler discussion, obviously. So if you haven't seen the movie, please do not watch this. Or if you don't want to see the movie, tell us why you don't want to see the movie.
Yeah, that's important.
So anyway, so we saw this movie last night, and Johnny, what your initial impressions on the quality of the movie?
Quality in terms of production, in terms of story, character.
I'm talking
general?
about like in general, how good was it? I'm assuming you liked it. Let's get that out.
Yeah, I don't see how you cannot like it, honestly. Whether you're familiar with Marvel Comics or not, like, the characters were really likable. The dialogue was extremely witty that a lot of people could appreciate, and the production value was through the roof. That was A1.
Although I do have to note that you do know a lot about the comics, so it's kind of hard to put yourself in a position.
Yeah. But I saw it with a large group of people, like maybe like 11 people, and a lot of them had no idea who the Guardians of the Galaxy even were. And everyone liked it.
Okay, I think the humor is what really
That'll transcend those boundaries.
Yeah. So you know, even though it's coming from a weird-looking alien guy, it's funny, regardless. You know. So anyway, okay. So you liked it a lot. So what would you give it out of 10?
Out of 10,
Just so we have a reference here.
I'd hit it with an 8. I'd hit it with an 8.
Okay, as you know from my non-spoiler review, I gave it a 7.
Oh, we got some tension here already.
Well,
oh, how are we gonna do this anymore?
I still really liked it. I really liked it a whole lot. So anyway, what do you think the strongest element of the movie was? What do you think was going for it the most?
I would say the design and characters and sets overall, and the just really witty dialogue.
That would be my number one thing, probably.
Yeah.
The dialogue, like the interplay between the characters.
Yeah,
was really great, and like the fusion of humor. I'd say about 85% of those jokes like really hit home for me.
Yeah,
and some of them hit like really hard too.
And there weren't any that I like facepalm like, oh, that was terrible. Never. Like, even like the jokes that weren't extremely funny, I was like, oh, I see what you did there, you know.
Yeah, I will say though, they kind of that one scene where Gamora and Peter are having that conversation, and he makes that reference to people having their sticks up their butt, and she says, she's like, "Why do they have their sticks up their butt?" And I was like, "What? That's Drax's thing."
That's what I thought too.
That's Drax's gag.
That was probably the point that pushed it the furthest away from me in terms of humor. But
yeah, I was like,
even then, it wasn't extremely bad. I've seen way worse.
It was, but I sort of felt their characters like merging together.
I know, right? It's like,
bit.
wow, they have the same sense of humor, or not necessarily sense of humor, but like, I guess kind of culture and manner of speaking that comes off as funny to us. I'm like, wow, they're doing that with two characters. What?
Yeah, and then
they're both green.
So they're both they're both on that scale, that color, on that side of the color wheel. But then also like they're both like the ones, they're like the hothead ones that are like ready to fight.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
They kind of both are.
They kind of both are. She's just the green female one, and he's like the male guy. I sort of think of them as Ninja Turtles, actually.
What?
Like, okay, just think about it, because I'm saying like the Ninja Turtles. You've got the 4 archetypes.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so you got Peter Quill. He's kind of like he's kind of like a snarky Leonardo, if you think about it. And then you got Drax and Gamora that are both kind of like, if you combine them together, they're like the Raphael character. And then
you say Rocket's Donatello, even though he had.
Well, Rocket was the one like that knew everything.
He was the one that did everything.
He was
the leader of the Guardians of the Galaxy.
He kind of was. He was He was kind of the one. Usually, the leader is the one that like has like the secrets. You know, he's got like the plans.
Dude, he had so many plans. He had all the plans.
Well, Rocket had all the plans,
Yeah.
not Peter Quill.
Peter really, I mean, he did the dance off.
Yeah, but throughout the movie, he was kind of the one that was like going along with the team.
Yeah.
Like a follower.
He kind of he did give him some pep talks and brought him together, and that was probably like the strongest thing he had going for them. That was his speaking.
That was like his leadership.
Yeah,
moment.
he wasn't a typical leader, but like that added to Star-Lord's character and made Star-Lord more unique for me because he was that guy from the very beginning. You could tell he's that guy that wants to be awesome and cool, but he's not really that cool. And they drive that home with his name. And how he wants people to call him Star-Lord, but they don't.
That like, was the funniest moment for me.
That was awesome.
When what's the guy's name? Demon Hansu's character?
Korath. Korath.
That was great.
He called him Star-Lord.
Finally.
Oh
gosh, I could just feel it.
That was well placed. That was really well. That was set up from the very beginning.
That was so perfect.
You know, James Gunn was just waiting to get that one off.
James Gunn, you got me.
Oh boy.
But anyway, okay, so. Strongest element. The strongest element for me actually was the.
You said the dialogue.
Yeah, the dialogue. Okay, so what was your favorite part, like favorite scene in the movie?
There's two different favorite scenes.
Okay, give them to me.
There's obviously the fanboy scene. We have the big fanboy scene. You know, we have Ronan showing up in a place that looks very similar to the place we saw in Avengers, and he's talking to the two-thumbed guy that we thought might be important.
He's dead, right?
He got his neck just.
He looks. Well, he's an alien, so maybe he can do what Nebula did.
In the current like kind of run of Marvel Comics, Thanos has a lackey called Corvus Glaive, and he's actually kind of awesome. Like he actually gets down
But it's not that guy, right?
I don't know. There was a lot of speculation that character was Corvus Glaive, but I don't know now because that guy is. You know,
maybe he's just gonna pull a Nebula and like.
Well, yeah, but Ronan gets a little upset with his lackey.
So you like that?
And that boy Thanos. What do they call him? They didn't call him Thanos. They call him like Thanos. They called him Thanos.
That's. Oh yeah, I say Thanos too. Actually.
Yeah, everyone says Thanos and they say Thanos, but then he turns around and you get Josh Brolin sitting there in his throne.
That was actually a little underwhelming for me.
It was.
Yeah.
I could see what you mean because we've had all this time between now and Avengers that like I don't know the hype. If you saw something like that at the end of Avengers, it would have blown you through the roof. I would assume. But like it's been so much time.
Like if they did like a really slow, dramatic like chair turn at the end of Avengers, I'd be like, oh man, this guy.
But it wasn't really the fact that it was Thanos and everything. It was the fact that I just appreciated his design in the movie. I thought his look translated really well. I think I don't know if Josh Brolin did the mocap for him, but his face kind of looked like Josh Brolin.
Yeah, it did. He's got like this wide jaw.
Yeah, I mean Josh Brolin has that, and so does Thanos. And I think that was really good casting. I loved his voice, his suit design, dude. It was he was stunting. Yeah, just gold.
Oh yeah, he looked.
Oh, gold.
He looked super cool.
He did look cool. But as far as like being a fanboy, that was a treat. Like I've been waiting for that forever.
For the Thanos reveal.
Yeah, like everybody said, he's gonna be in it, but like, I think.
I was imagining just like holograms.
I didn't know we were gonna get that much Thanos because when
that surprised me too.
Because whenever they get captured, the Guardians get captured by the Nova Corps. They show Gamora and they show Thanos like in a little like picture, and they're like, "Oh, the daughter of Thanos." I thought that was it. I was like, "Oh, that's all we're gonna get." But that was definitely not all we got.
That was it. It hit me pretty hard. I was like, "This you're giving him to us right now, like in this movie."
That was. Interesting timing, you know. It's all this build-up, and we just get him flat out right there. But I mean, there's still a lot of mystery that we don't know. We don't know what. I mean, we can assume his ploy is to gather all the stones. You know, I mean, obviously he wanted the big one. He wanted the soul gem. I'm assuming it's a soul gem, but whatever.
But what struck me was like Brolin's voice came through a lot.
Yeah, it did.
But then like Ronan. He did not sound anything like Lee Pace. Nothing like Lee Pace.
I'm not going to say he sounded nothing like him. You could tell that's Lee Pace if you knew that was Lee Pace beforehand.
Yeah, but they changed his voice a lot.
There was a lot of, I don't know, it was pretty heavy.
Yeah, but I will say like Lee Pace he was able to get like some of his acting to come out through all the stuff he had going on.
Yeah, which is like good for him, man. Like I thought he did a good job.
I still don't think it's going to help his career at all because I don't think anyone's going to recognize him you know.
Unless you previously know who Heslipe is, probably not. Because
Yeah,
his voice
yeah.
is covered up, his face was covered up. I like the costume design a lot, though. By the way, he looked menacing as all hell.
Yeah, he like. Yeah, it's because his costume in the comics looks really cool.
Yeah, it looks cool, and
And-
they stayed pretty true to it mostly.
Yeah, I wasn't really feeling like when they put all the black stuff on him, like he was like that was like his blood, right?
I
He
have
was
no idea
bleeding.
what that was. I
And
don't.
they put it
That
on?
whole beginning scene where he was like naked, lying down in the weird cubby hole.
Yeah.
I was really confused.
Yeah.
I don't know. There's like a lot of weird Kree culture, and I don't know how different it's gonna be in the.
Yeah, they sort of
movies.
made him out to be like a religious extremist,
Yeah, they pretty much
like
did.
a terrorist, like an idealistic terrorist.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And he had his own faction
Yeah. And
separate from the Kree.
that's why like
Empire.
I found it like I just could not get past like Peter Quill's dancing, throwing him off.
Dude, when that happened, dude, like I was like, is this like I looked over and I was like, is this happening right now? And then it kept going, and he kept dancing, and I was like,
They drew it out.
he was like dance battle, and I was like, this is Ronan, the
He's
accuser.
been waiting his entire life, and he is like seconds away from just
decimating the entire
of
planet.
like doing like what he is like been
yeah.
longing to do
Mhm.
for I don't know how long.
Yeah,
And this is like his ultimate goal.
but you got
This is the pinnacle of all his plans.
dude, but he's Star-Lord, man. He's dancing.
Sidelined by he shouldn't even know what that is really.
What a dance battle is?
Yeah.
He didn't know what it.
Like as far
I don't know.
No, I'm saying like dancing. Like it shouldn't have even have thrown him off. For all he knew, Star-Lord was like really scared, and that's what humans do when they're scared. As far as Ronan.
That was interesting, especially how close that was to like their ultimate defeat of him. Like that was right next to them actually defeating him.
yeah.
And he was dancing. Like wow. I mean,
I guess if you think about it in context of the movie, they never go that hard, but they do things like that.
go hard in terms of what? What do you mean?
Like
In terms of that comedy?
doing something ridiculous,
Ridiculous?
for like the comedic effect, you know? Like that at that point that was just too far for me.
I agree.
But like all the other ones were like getting close to being too far, but they kept it contained.
Well, I'm not completely familiar with James Gunn's history. I think you've seen a few of his movies. This is my
I've
first
seen,
James Gunn movie,
Super,
The
yeah.
Super.
He's only done one other one.
How was the comedy in terms of or relatively between the two?
Like totally different. Super has
Was he
like
more restrained in Guardians, or was he more let loose?
no, he was way more let loose in Guardians. Super is like it's like a subtle. It's like really subtle. Well, it's a smaller story, so everything about the whole movie is like a lot more subtle.
Mhm.
But that movie's like really grounded, like you know, it's all humans, you know, and stuff. So it's really grounded, and all the humor is like really grounded. It was actually Super was actually a little bit darker, and not as funny. But it was funny, but just in a different way. It was like a subtle dark humor, and this was
Dude,
like
Guardians got dark, dude. It got dark. It did get dark.
the sun went down.
You're right about that.
It never got
I mean,
dark.
I'm referring to like.
The tone, I never felt like it was dark.
No, it wasn't really.
I never felt like anyone was like in like serious danger. Like the tension was there.
Yeah.
I mean, it wasn't to where like I didn't believe anything bad was ever going to happen.
Yeah.
But
Because bad stuff did happen.
Yeah, but it was. Oh, that brings me to one of my favorite scenes in the movie was whenever Peter goes and gets Gamora when she's passed out in space, and like the celestial like bodies that are behind him, and he's like slow motion floating out there, and
Yeah.
they do this wide shot, and there's like all these
That
galaxies in the
looked really
background. I
good.
was like, holy
That
crap!
that looked really good.
This is freaking good cinematography right here.
Yeah, that looked really good. That shot.
Yeah.
I was like, oh,
And then that whole sequence of him like exchanging the stuff.
the mask.
I mean, in reality, they
Star-Lord
both would have
helmet.
been dead instantly.
Hey, we don't know their physiology.
That's true.
They're both aliens.
They're both
Well,
aliens.
he's half alien.
He's part alien, so
Yeah.
that's true. But yeah, but that whole scene was like
Yeah.
that was one of
got
my
me,
that was
it
one of
got
my
me.
favorite scenes.
It
That
was.
my favorite scene. Okay, so what do you think was the weakest element of this film?
The weakest element. I would have to say that like, it's because there are a lot of characters. Some characters didn't get some development that I would have liked more so. And like, if you're gonna look at the overall plot, I don't know, it was pretty simple. That doesn't necessarily mean bad, but in terms of understanding it and explaining the plot, it wasn't deep. It wasn't like, it didn't have a lot of layers to it. You just had a few factions all fighting over one thing. It all revolved around one thing.
Right.
And like, that was pretty simple. And that's not necessarily a bad thing because it's a really character-driven story, and you had some really good characters in it, but you had some weak ones. If I'm going to point out a weak character, I would say Ronan.
Yes!
That's what I would say.
Like, this is a theme in, like, all Marvel movies.
Is that their villains,
Their villains are just so forgettable, man.
And, like, especially if you're, like, a comics fan and you're, familiar with Ronan, like,
you know, like,
he
the
goes
history
hard.
and stuff.
Like, he's a very strong character, and, like, if you go see an adaptation, you want to see a lot of him. And, like, he did get his screen time, but every time he's on screen, he's just like, I'm really mad. Yeah. Destroy the planets.
Yeah. That, like, I felt like all the characters suffered from a little one-dimensionalist.
That's gonna happen when you have a really large cast.
Yeah, and you know, I felt like they like, this is a team movie, so you want the core team members, the Guardians, you want them to be as well developed as possible. And then the other person, your next priority would be your main villain.
Exactly.
So
that's where they're lacking.
They had so many characters. They had Yondu, they had Ronan, they had Nebula, they had Korat, they had you had the Nova Corps people that they tried to get in there.
Close.
Yeah, you had Glenn Close, which, like, the amount that he's in the trailers kind of leads you to believe that he's in there a little bit more than he was.
Who?
Glenn Close.
No, John C. Reilly?
And John C. Reilly, yeah.
Yeah, John C. Like, oh,
John
man.
C.
Like, I can appreciate that his character was there and everything, but, like, yeah, he wasn't as much as I would have.
Yeah, but that was just more of, like, me wanting more of that.
Exactly.
But, like, I would have liked to see...
It wasn't crippling to the movie, per se.
Right.
Because the movie, instead of relying on that, it had a few strong characters and then comedy. It relied on the comedy and the production to ride out the rest of the way.
Yeah, because all the action was solid, and, like, the cinematography was great and stuff.
Yeah.
But, like, there were just too many characters to make any one of them, like, fully rounded, and they were all, like, stuck into whatever their thing is.
Yeah. I would say that on the team, Drax and Gamora, those are the strongest that were, like... I mean, Groot, you could say he's one-dimensional, but he's Groot. Like, he says...
Yeah, and I don't have any problem with
Groot
that.
Was awesome.
That's how he is.
Groot was awesome.
He had more character than I even thought he would have. You know,
he was awesome. Groot was a fantastic character in that. Rocket, obviously, he had a lot of screen time. He talked a lot. You got some character developed out of him, about his... You learned about his origins, kind of, and, like... Oh, man, a scene that kind of got to me was when he was drunk, you know? And he was just talking about his insecurities. I felt bad.
Yeah.
But, like, that established an emotional connection between you. And, like, when you have Drax and Gamora, you know, they're just kind of there. Drax is funny, though, I must say. Dave Bautista did more than I thought he'd be able to do, and the character is written very well for him.
I thought they gave him a lot more acting, like, chances than I thought. I thought he was gonna.
I thought he was not gonna talk at all.
Yeah, like, he was gonna be the strong silent type, but and he would just have, like, one-liners.
See, I think James Gunn, you know, like, he saw the fact that he had a large cast, large team, and it's not like Avengers. Avengers, you have, like, a large team, and they were all developed kind of pretty well within the movie, but they also had their own movies outside of it.
Yeah, so you already knew all this history.
Yeah, you already have that. But in this is the first movie for all of them. Yeah. And so he's like, all right. So he compensated for the lack of character through comedy and production.
Yeah, and I would have liked. I think you still could have had the same amount of comedic moments, but, like, if you had cut out some of the secondary characters, then they could have had more time to, like, develop the team better. Exactly. And have them, like, stand out, because, like, if you're gonna make a sequel, you got to explore other facets of their character, you know? Like, they can't just, like, Gamora can't just be always angry and ready to fight. Yeah. And Rocket can't always be, like, upset and ready to blow things up and stuff. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like I would have liked, you know, like...
We are getting a Guardians of the Galaxy 2.
Yeah, hopefully they'll explore. But, I mean... Now, the other thing that I also had trouble with was the transition from them... just kind of, like, all needing each other for money and stuff, to them being, like, a solid, like when Gamora says, "We'll die for you."
That was a little much.
"We'll die for you, Peter."
I agree. That was.
I've known you for a weekend.
I appreciate
We listen to music
I appreciate
together.
their sentiment with each other, especially because they all came from troubled pasts where they've lost a lot. Peter mentioned this
And
about how
they're all kind of alone.
they're all
they're
alone,
all
and like
basically
they're all they kind of have, and so I could see why they come together. But when she said, "We'll all die for you," I was like,
No.
I was like, that's a little much, especially when you're saying it to Peter. And you should be saying that's a Rocket Raccoon.
Yeah, he's the one carrying all the weight here.
Yeah, that was an interesting line there.
Yeah, but like I didn't see like they didn't explain, and I think it would have helped if they had developed their characters more.
It would have.
Like if you had seen
Good
others,
character development helps like every aspect of the story.
like if you had a chance to like for all the team to see that like Peter is like actually like a really good, he's a good natured guy. He doesn't always know what the right thing is to do, but he's like a good natured guy. Or the same thing for Drax and Gamora. Like if you had given them the chance to show like just more character, just able to infuse more character, it would have been a little bit more believable that these characters actually care about each other.
It would have.
Because I get that they like each other, and I believe
Yeah.
that they kind of maybe want to be friends and stuff. But by the end of the movie, I wasn't to a place where they were all like extreme loyal
I
to
think
each
I
other.
think something that was present that could have been more present as to not necessarily why they were all like a tight team, but as to why they all wanted to accomplish the goal of saving an entire planet is that like this is a hero movie, this is a superhero movie, and it's a superhero team, and every teammate, even though they have like the rough outsides, inside they all have some desire to help people and do good, and that's what they did in the end, and like. So that helped me, like I guess, accept the fact that they all wanted to do this. But like you said earlier, when she said that line, like "We'll all die for you," like that wasn't in that direction, and it made it seem like they were all extremely loyal to their like supreme leader.
Yeah, Peter, you've
I mean,
led
he
us
had
through so
charisma.
much, Peter.
I mean, he did have charisma, and he brought that. Chris Pratt, by the way, like he brought that it factor to that role. That like
Yeah,
I mean,
it needed
it definitely needed.
it needed a little touch of something special.
Mhm.
Yeah, Chris Pratt, definitely, he was good. Zoe Saldana, actually, I think everyone's acting was,
Nobody was a bad actor.
nobody was bad. It was just mainly like the way they were written, just kind of one-dimensional.
Did the best with what they
So,
could.
yeah, I think they did the best with what they could. And Zoe Saldana, man, like, even on the close-ups, I think if you didn't know it was her, you probably wouldn't know who it was.
Maybe
They had kind of changed the structure of her face a
yeah,
little
they
bit.
added to like her cheeks and eyebrows, like it make her a little bit more
Yeah.
alien, which I appreciated because they just paint her green. You have a lot of those, like they're a different alien race. We paint them pink, we paint them blue. But, like they kind of added to her face, and they had like weird lines. I thought that was
Yeah,
cool.
I just feel bad for her as an actress because like she gave a great performance in Avatar.
And she had that same issue.
And-
You didn't see her.
And that was a huge issue for her because you couldn't see her at all.
James Spader is gonna get hit with that in Age of Ultron. You were having all these new roles with Paul Bettany and Vision, and then Thanos and Josh Brolin.
True.
We're getting more roles like these because the films are getting more abstract.
Yeah,
You're getting more abstract. You're getting more characters that are going to be based in new technologies.
The Thing.
The Thing,
Yeah, fantastic. He's gonna be all CG.
all CG. Oh
Yeah.
man.
Well, it's gonna be the actor, I think, in mocap,
Okay,
I believe.
man. Yeah.
But I mean, I am all for like fully motion capture. Like after seeing Dawn of the Planet of the Apes, I am like,
Dude, Andy
man,
Serkis
do it,
can-
man.
yeah,
And
he
I
can
love that
pull
that
his
movie
weight.
was successful because now this signals to other studios of like, hey, you can have a lead as a fully
Yeah,
motion
fully
capture
mocap.
CGI character, and people will watch it. You know, I mean, obviously, if it needs to be good, but
That's good.
but
Were
just
there
the fact
any-
that that's out there now.
Like Rocket Raccoon, dude. Like he was completely CG, but so much emotion was like, I guess, portrayed in like I don't know.
Yeah,
But
like I could.
Bradley Cooper, of course. I don't like he pulled some weight there.
Yeah, his voice acting was spot on.
It was
during
like
the emotional
it
scenes.
was different enough from the like Bradley Cooper voice here.
Yeah, he had a slight accent.
It was a slight, yeah.
I don't know what-
in the
like
very
a New
beginning.
York
In the very
accent.
beginning, I was like, yeah, it's Bradley Cooper. But as the movie went on, like that completely went away, and I was like, this is Rocket Raccoon.
Yeah, he fused in.
He did a really good job there.
Some incarnations have him look like a British.
Or
like a
Australian.
British- yeah.
Yeah. There's like a video game I played. I think he was in it in an Australian accent.
And they come on like the animated Avengers show.
Oh yeah, Earth's Mightiest
like
Heroes,
an
right?
episode or two. Yeah. Yeah.
And then Star-Lord had Master Chief's voice in that episode, which is a little odd.
Oh yeah, well, because he doesn't take off the.
Yeah, I don't know if he ever does, but.
But yeah, so that was probably the weakest element. Okay, so.
Oh man, I just want to add another character that I thought was pretty, kind of semi-useless and one-dimensional was the Collector. You get Benicio del Toro, like this
Academy Award winner,
to come in and just drop some exposition on you, like, oh, these are the Infinity Stones, celestial beings, like all this exposition. Like, it was really cool stuff, and like as a fanboy of like Marvel Comics, it's cool to see, but it's like that's how it's gonna get delivered.
Yeah.
He's just gonna say it all.
Yeah, like they should have. I think they could have given him something to do.
He did
like something
nothing past that.
Yeah, he gets blown up.
Yeah, well, I mean, post credit scene though. Post credit.
Oh yeah, he's alive. Oh, how did you feel about that, man? That was the most disappointing post credit scene I've ever seen, ever.
Okay, so
unless a week from now you tell me they're making a Howard the Duck movie.
Hey, it's already been done. They already made one. You got to do a review of that next time.
Unless you tell me they're making
1989,
another Howard the Duck movie and he's gonna somehow be in Avengers 3 or something.
Dude, he's gonna be the one to stop
pointless.
Thanos, dude. He's gonna be the one to stop Thanos. I'm calling it right now.
Oh, you like that little hint they dropped about Drax?
Oh yeah, and he was like, "Gotta stop Thanos." In this comic incarnation, he's always after Thanos. I'm pretty sure. In his comic incarnation, like Thanos is the one that kills his family.
Yeah, well, in the Infinity Crisis in the '90s, that run, Drax is the one that kills
Thanos.
Yeah,
he is.
Drax is the one that kills him.
Oh, the Infinity Gauntlet? Yeah.
It's from like 1993 or something like that. Mm-hmm. In that incarnation.
Yeah, and he also wore a cape and looks ridiculous, but you know.
But anyway, I still want to stress the pointlessness of that post-credit scene. Like,
we got some more Cosmo, the dog.
Get out of here with that, man. Like, you know, I thought when Iron Man 3 rolled around, I thought, okay, I guess they're all gonna be funny now. But then Captain America happened.
Captain America actually delivered some substance there.
Yeah.
Your first look at some two major characters. And like, okay, so we have Marvel's new slate of movies, right?
Yeah, we got
a lot of unfilled gaps. And people were looking to this movie to fill in some of those gaps possibly at the end, because it's the first movie that is purely based in space, right? And you have like a lot of the Nova Corps plays a giant role. You have Nova, Richard Rider, the hero Nova, which he's human and like well known. People maybe think he would get a solo movie. Captain Marvel with Carol Danvers possibly. Beta Ray Bill if they're gonna get a little abstract, but we get Howard the Duck.
Yeah, they didn't set anybody up to really launch him out. You know what I mean? Unless Howard the Duck is the one.
What if he does?
That would be crazy, dude. Like, I don't see that fitting into like the Avengers or. I mean, maybe
he barely even fits into the comics.
And in this movie, they obviously didn't. They didn't need him to do anything.
Okay,
in this movie.
Something else though. Actually, I can't completely discredit this scene because there's a major character in the Marvel Cosmic Universe named Adam Warlock. He's like a being created by I think like a superior race of aliens created him to be like the perfect human. And eventually he comes in possession of like the Soul Gem, and he's a big deal in the Infinity Gauntlet story arc. And eventually he's a part of the Guardians of the Galaxy. Adam Warlock is, and he I think he goes through a process where he's in a cocoon, right? There was he's
not an Inhuman, is he?
No, he's not an Inhuman. Okay. In the end of Thor: The Dark World, there was a cocoon inside the Collector's one of his cases, and people like were hinting that's Adam Warlock, and this you see it again when they go there, and then in the post-credit scene you see, I'm pretty sure you can see the cocoon in the back burst open. So that was something subtle, and Adam Warlock's a major character, so I don't want to completely discredit that scene because they could potentially be setting up a major character to be in Guardians of the Galaxy 2 and potentially join the team.
Don't Inhumans go into cocoons when they get their powers? Into like a gas chamber that's in space?
So something mist. I'm not.
They get exposed to the mist. Yeah.
Yeah, for what it's called. I'm not entirely familiar with Inhumans or Adam Warlock's like complete origin, so I don't want to make a definitive comment on it. But I know that a Cocoon and Adam Warlock are like something that goes together. And
Okay, so maybe it's a bigger deal than
it could
we
be,
think.
but it's subtle. They didn't want to smack us in the face with it.
Okay, but they did want to smack us in the face with a big duck fin.
I swear, dude, he's gonna be the one to stop Thanos.
Everyone, like over half my theater was waiting.
Yeah, almost my entire theater was waiting.
Yeah.
And we saw that. One dude lost it, though, in front of me. And he was like, that's Howard the Duck! And then, I lost it, too, because my friend I was sitting with joked about Howard the Duck being it. He joked.
Well, they, like, it had been leaked
then it
that
happens.
it had been leaked that he was, that was the post-credit scene.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I didn't even know that.
Like, it was on the internet, yeah. Yeah.
Oh, whatever. I'm still sad that
Now, that was Nathan Fillion voicing him, right?
that was.
I think so.
I heard that Nathan Fillion was the nostril guy. The guy who got the... Remember when Groot put the... I don't know.
That could have been anybody.
Yeah, it could have been anybody.
There's no way that they would have brought him in so that they could totally
Well, I
disguise
guess,
him.
I mean, if that's going to be Nathan Fillion's role, I mean...
He's Howard the Duck. dude.
Better accept it.
No cap, dude. No cap. Well, I think that about does it. Anything else you want to add?
Oh, I mean, this is a spoiler review, so...
We
What is
didn't talk
spoilerific?
too much spoilers, actually.
Ooh, let's talk about the gems real quick and the stones in general. And how many we have now, because we got an entirely new stone in this.
Okay, true. I believe the Tesseract, they're counting that as a stone. Even
Yeah,
though it's
we have the
actually not.
Tesseract.
We have the
Yeah,
Ether.
right. The Ether, and then we have the Scepter, which
Loki's Scepter is a separate gem?
I think so.
Oh, I've heard that.
Yeah.
The rumored.
Which is, they're the same color, right? And I think that Marvel Studios, or whoever was in charge of that, didn't know that's what they were going to do originally. I think they were going to try to not... Yeah.
I thought
Somebody screwed up. They're the same color.
In Avengers, Captain America says that his shield works like a Hydra weapon, which is powered by the Tesseract.
He says his what?
His spear, Captain America says that his spear looks an awful lot like a Hydra weapon, which were powered by the Tesseract.
Does he?
Yeah, he says that in Avengers.
Oh, he does?
And so I assumed that his scepter was like being powered
By the Tesseract. That's
by
what
the
I
Tesseract.
assumed,
So
too.
it's like the same
That's
energy.
what I assumed, too.
Not a totally separate thing.
But the Tesseract,
I don't know where that
the
I don't know where
Tesseract
that
and
comes from.
the rumors are because that there is a mind gem that has the power of mind control. Loki's scepter could do all that, right? The Tesseract was never seen ever doing anything like that. The Tesseract just seems to be like a very large power source,
Yeah.
whereas the scepter can do something specific.
Okay, that's true. Okay, he hits people in the chest
That's
with it.
but
yeah,
yeah.
but it doesn't work on Tony Stark.
Yeah,
for sure.
yeah, and then there's this new the new introduction of this purple gem, which we don't know its origin at all.
Probably the Soul Gem.
Peter found it on like a decimated planet, where
Yeah,
like
what was he doing there? Where humans were?
I don't know.
Remember when he was mapping
there was
it out?
like a dog or something.
Well, he was mapping. There was a girl playing next to a dog.
Oh, you know what I'm wondering? There's like a humanoid empire called the Spartax Empire, right?
Spartax, yes.
And his father was like a leader of that empire. His name's J-Sun, J apostrophe Sun.
No, Sean Jones.
But they alluded to his father at the end, and it's not confirmed that he is going to be the same father in the comic and the movie universe. But they said did they say that his father was like of an ancient like something?
Yes, they said his DNA, like your DNA's of like.
It's something we haven't seen. It's
really-
like really
in a
old
long
or something,
time, yeah.
right? I'm wondering if that planet he went on originally like had anything to do
was
with
his dad?
had anything to do with the Spartax Empire. I don't know. I'm not an expert.
So his
on-
dad's not a Spartax, but he lived there. Or
No,
is
he's a leader of them. Like
Is he a? He's
currently
one of them.
currently in the comics, I think so, but
Okay,
I don't
so
know.
like a Spartax king.
I guess you could call him that.
Okay, and do they look like? Are they like a different color? Or they look like humans.
Jason looks like a human, straight up.
Okay, and
Sure.
the rest of the Spartax too.
I don't know. I've only seen him like
Okay.
specifically in like recent comics. But what I was gonna say about the gem and the soul gem is that like there's a lot of mystery behind it. Like you don't know where it came from. You don't know where you don't know how it ended up there. But you can assume that like it might be responsible for the destruction of that planet. Because as we saw earlier, we saw these gems like just wreaking havoc, especially with that celestial that like you just saw it just decimate everything in front of it. And when the collector was talking about it.
Oh right. He showed them like a video.
Yeah. So that thing can like I don't know, it can do some damage. And it eventually ended up screwing Ronan in the end, which was kind of
Yeah, they channeled the energy
I don't know.
like onto him. But anyway, overall, I thought Guardians was very enjoyable. Most of these problems I had with it, I only had with it. Most of them were afterwards, like post movie.
Exactly. It was an extremely engaging film, and that's one of my biggest, like, I don't know. I praise it for that. Like the whole way, I was very involved in the story and the characters.
Yeah. I didn't always know like what was happening in the story, but that kind of kept me like focused on like who's working with who and who wants to kill who, and like where are these loyalties at right now?
Yeah.
But like all the problems I had, just like they're just like, you know, problems that you think up after the fact. But it's entertaining enough for you to overlook those while you're watching the film. So I say 7 out of 10. You still say 8?
I mean, that's me though.
Is it a strong 8? Is it a hard 8 or a soft 8?
I say a soft 8. But
okay, so I got you down a little bit.
Yeah, maybe I got you up though. You got a hard 7 over there. I can see it. I can see it from over here.
Okay, so my 7 is a little bit harder and his 8's a little bit softer. Well, that will do it for us tonight. Definitely tell us what you thought of the movie. Feel free to have spoilers, since this is a spoiler review, in your comments if you so choose. And definitely check back here for more great content. And see you next time.
Howard the Duck and Adam Warlock.